This is about defending democracy. This is no longer Democrats versus Republicans. What do you want your kids to believe in? There must be give and take.
This is White Flag with Joe Walsh.
Hey, look, I think Trump engaged in insurrection, but who the fuck am I? That's my opinion. I think Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection, but I am just me. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I don't sit on the Colorado Supreme Court. I don't sit on the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment says, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such a disability. What this section of the 14th Amendment says is, if you're an officer of the United States and you took an oath to defend the Constitution and you engaged in insurrection or rebellion, you can't serve. Now, again, the country is full of legal experts. The country is full of constitutionalists, all the same. Ever since last night, when the Colorado Supreme Court said, according to 14th Amendment, Section 3, Donald Trump engaged in insurrection and is ineligible to be president. Therefore, he cannot and will not be on the ballot in the state of Colorado. By a 4-3 decision that was determined by the Colorado Supreme Court late yesterday, kicking Trump off the ballot, it will get kicked up to the United States Supreme Court immediately because the clock is ticking on this, because the names have to be on the ballot by January 5th. So there's a stay on this ruling until the Supreme Court rules. I just want to say this. I want to say two things. I oppose this ruling. I believe Trump committed insurrection, engaged in insurrection. He has not been convicted by a jury of his peers of that yet. He was not convicted by the Senate of that. He was impeached. He was not convicted. It doesn't seem right to me, with all of that a state court, a divided state court, in a 4-3 ruling, can determine that Donald Trump committed a federal crime and therefore should not be on a federal ballot. That doesn't seem right to me. Other states, courts in other states have ruled the opposite way. There are a handful of other states that have tried to do the same thing, get Trump kicked off the ballot. They've ruled the other way. Again, this Colorado Supreme Court was divided 4-3. If you're going to do something as big as take away someone's right to be on a ballot, take away someone's right to vote for who they want to vote for, it ought to be really clear cut. And this isn't clear cut. I started this by saying I'm no legal expert. I'm not a lawyer or a judge. Legal experts are divided on this. Courts are divided on this. The legal community is divided on this. This Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. The wording is vague. Do you know most legal experts don't even think the word officer applies to the presidency? I know everybody is a constitutional expert now and thinks this is a slam dunk, but this isn't like you have to be 35 years old to be president. That's obvious. You have to be a naturalized citizen of the United States of America to run for president. That's obvious. This is untested, and it's not obvious. It's not clear cut. And I think if you're going to risk burning the country down by kicking someone off the ballot, it had better be really clear cut. Like Donald Trump wasn't born in this country, or Donald Trump isn't old enough to run for president. We don't have that here. 2 final points. And don't give me shit. You know how I feel about Trump. We're a nation of laws. The Supreme Court did what the Supreme Court of Colorado, the Colorado Supreme Court did what they have jurisdiction to do. The court has spoken. And for all of you that say, Joe, we're a nation of laws, right here, Constitution right here. Okay, well then, if and when the Supreme Court overrules this Colorado ruling, then you will abide by that, because we are a nation of laws, and the Supreme Court is the highest law in the land. The Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, will take this up immediately, and if they overrule it, we as a nation will accept it. If they affirm the Colorado ruling, and then a bunch of states follow and kick Donald Trump off the ballot because he engaged in insurrection, well then so be it. We're a nation of laws. But if that doesn't happen, and it's just this Colorado court that determined this, and the Supreme Court doesn't take it up or overrules it, man, you got to beat Trump at the ballot. I despise Donald Trump. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he's not reelected in 24. But you got to beat him at the ballot box. You can't kick him off the ballot. You have to kick his ass at the ballot box. If this works its way, right, to the Supreme Court, which it will, and the Supreme Court affirms what Colorado just did, fine. But if not, be prepared to roll up your sleeves and drop all these silver bullets and just fucking beat him at the ballot box next year. That's what needs to be done. That's what would be best for the country if the country wants to defeat Trump and Trumpism. You kick his ass at the ballot box. You don't do this. You don't try to kick him off the ballot. Joe Walsh, Merry Christmas, everybody. Make it a good week. Thanks for listening. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow White Flag with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been White Flag with Joe Walsh.